Hello everyone, this is Nimish and today we're going to review the Kannada movie U-Turn directed by Pawan Kumar, who also previously made Lucia. First off, right off the bat, let me tell you that I loved this movie. This is exactly the kind of movie, to put into words, I would say this is the kind of movie that I'd love to make. This is the kind of movie that I'd love to be a part of, and it is exactly down my alley. So I thoroughly enjoyed the genre, the presentation, and the whole movie altogether. Let's get into reviewing this movie in a little more detail. Let's begin with the story. The story is fantastically different and it is outstandingly mysterious and suspenseful with an element of supernatural horror in there. This is a story about people who take a U-turn at the double road flyover and then are found dead. And this is the mystery that unravels throughout the movie about how exactly they are dying, why they are dying, who might be the killer, is it a suicide, is it a mere accident or a coincidence, and how the protagonist, played by Shraddha Srinath, is getting accused of being guilty of killing these people, and how a lot of twists and turns take place into this investigative process. The first half of the movie is super duper fast paced. There is not a second that you can lift up your head or look at the person sitting right next to you or look at your phone or do anything of that sort. In fact, if I was in the movie theater, I wouldn't even care about my popcorn and coke. It's that fast, it's that intense, the editing is that crisp, it's outstanding. And right from the word go, it gets you interested into what's going on in the movie and what is going to happen. The twists and turns unravel so fast in the first half that you're glued to your screen and you're wondering what exactly is going on. This is fantastic. This is extraordinarily suspenseful and I want to know what happens next. And I think the first half was brilliant. The second half is equally good, but the tone of the second half is a little different from the first half. While the first half sets up the movie in a very fast and strong manner, and it sets up in a very suspenseful manner, the second half gets into a little of the drama and emotional side about the story behind the whole mystery, about the story behind each and every character, what they go through, how it affects their lives. So it goes through the emotional aspect of the characters involved in the movie. In that sense, compared to the first half, it gets a little slow in the second half, especially in the first half of the second half, but it is never boring, it is never unnecessary, it is perfectly directed, perfectly scripted, perfectly written, the screenplay is fantastic, everything is outstanding. This movie, even the twist at the end and the story at the end as to what happens is extremely satisfying, and this is one of the best mysteries I have seen in a long time, especially because it was mixed with a variety of genres. It was not just a murder mystery, it was not just a thriller, it was not just a psychological horror, it was not just a horror, it was a mix of so many genres that I extraordinarily enjoyed this movie. About the acting, everyone did a very natural job. At no point you felt that someone is overacting or underacting or anything of that sort. However, it wasn't extraordinary. There's nothing much I can say about the acting except that everyone did a good job and did what they were supposed to do. One thing I like to mention is how at the end they show the real scenes of the double road flyover and people taking a U-turn. And the whole story is fiction. It's based on fiction. But it links to a simple incident, a simple social incident, a simple thing that people do in everyday life which is wrong, and it presents it in a very, historical way, very fantastical way about the whole story, about what can happen to people who take U-turns. But what I noticed by the end of this movie when they showed the real U-turns, and what I came to my mind is that the brilliant idea of presenting a social issue that needs to be addressed in a very fictional form. So while normal people or normal movie makers that we often see who want to address social issues directly address those social issues, this is one of the rare occasions where a social issue has been addressed in an extremely different way, in an extremely fictional way. And I think it's very effective. I think that by the end of it, when they show the scenes of the people taking a U-turn, if anyone's ever taken a U-turn at double road flyover, they're going to be like, this is wrong and we should not do it. And it's not like they might believe that they'll die, but they're going to think that we should support this and we should strongly support not taking illegal U-turns whenever we want. And I think that the message that was delivered, although in a fictional way, was extremely impactful, and if I may say so, even more impactful than a direct delivery in a non-fictional way. If it was presented in a realistic manner about how people should not take break traffic rules, not take unnecessary U-turns, then people know that they're watching a social message movie. And if you know you're watching a social message movie, you're not going to take it too seriously because it's a social message movie. It's obviously going to tell you not to do some things. But in this manner, if you present it in this manner, and if the person does not know it's a social issue and only at the end they come to know, then it's going to be much more impactful and effective. And I think that's what the director has taken advantage of. Once again, Pawan Kumar after Lucia makes a fantastic movie. Both the movies are equally good. If someone asks me which one of his do you like better, I think both were equally good. There's no doubt about it. All I can say is that Lucia, which I've also reviewed, I've attached the link in the description. Lucia was heavily based on the acting. Lucia, there was significant, extraordinary performances, whereas U-Turn tends to be more on the story and the message point of view. It tends to be to rely more on the suspense of the matter that's going on, and I think that's completely okay. It's the two different demands of it. Lucia required people to act that well and act at that level of extraordinary performances that they gave, which was Satish Ninasam, if I'm not mistaken, and Achyuta Kumar. But in this movie, they didn't require people to give extraordinary performances. They wanted people to be natural. They wanted people to look like normal people because this is a social issue which is based on a realistic situation. So I extremely enjoyed this movie, and I think that this genre is also repeated in Rangi Taranga. It's also a supernatural mystery, and now that I've watched U-Turn, my first Kannada supernatural mystery, I think that my interest for Rangi Taranga goes much higher, and I'm looking forward to more of such supernatural mysteries, irrespective of the social message involved, because I enjoy them. I loved this movie. I loved every aspect of it, and I think that if movies be remade, and if they've been, I know that Kannada movies often get remade, and I know that Kannada movies themselves make remake. For example, I think Mukund Murari is coming, which is a remake of Oh My God. So everyone makes remakes, and although I hate it, I feel that it's happening, and if it happens, it should happen to such good movies. So if Bollywood ever remakes any Kannada movie, they should definitely pick Lucia and U-Turn. These are stories that can reach a global audience in a very powerful way, and I think it's fantastic. So I love this movie, and about the rating, I'm definitely going to go with 4 stars because this was almost perfect. I can't see any flaw in this, some minor issues which are completely ignorable. This movie is fantastic, and I'm going with 4 stars. I hope you enjoyed this review of U-Turn. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep watching.